Hey y'all, welcome back. I am about to do that chicken casserole, chicken rice and broccoli casserole that I told you about. This is like the quickest meal you can make. I think I went over some of the things in my Aldi haul, and I promised that I would share it, so I'm trying to stay consistent and do things as I said I was going to do them. Anyway, I remember explaining to you about this soup. This is like the main ingredient that's going to make your casserole. Excuse my dogs. I am babysitting my mom's dog, so they are out of control today. So just ignore them. They really look at them. Look at that one. Look at that one over there. Y'all gonna be quiet so I can do what I need to do? Thank you. Okay. So as I was saying, this is the quickest meal. My family is probably tired of this dish actually because I make it a lot, but it's really good. They like it. So I think it's something quick. During the week, I want to go outside. It's nice, so I don't want to spend all my time in the house. So I want to hurry up and make something, throw it in the oven while I'm getting dressed so I can go somewhere and let it cook. These are the items that you need. You need your rice. You can use any kind of rice. We use white rice. And your chicken. Actually, I normally use chicken breast, but today I'm using what I have in the freezer, excuse me. And look how much we paid for that. And these are thighs. Thighs are cheap. But anyway, and I don't think I bought this. Somebody bought that and gave it to me. Because I normally don't buy thighs. But anyway, I'm going to clean the chicken. But I want to explain what you put in it first. You don't have to have broccoli, but I'm going to put broccoli in there because I really want to, stretch the casserole. That's my oven. I set it for 350. And these are the cheeses I have on hand. You could use whatever you want, whatever kind of cheese you like. There's no specific. I actually just came across this recipe myself. Like I seen other people make like rice and chicken and broccoli, and they use different kind of soups, and I saw this soup and I said, I wonder how this would taste, and I just tried it out one day and I really liked it and I've never gone back. So what's all in this soup, and I got this from Aldi's, is chicken, broccoli, cheese, and potatoes, and it's pretty meaty and it's saucy. So it and this is a real big can. You don't have to have two, but I like to use two because I like a lot of cheese in mine and I don't want it to be too dry. This is the seasonings I'm using, and then the seasonings I'm actually just putting on the chicken because the soup is already seasoned, and just to make the rice and the broccoli and all that stuff taste good together. Slap your mama, that's like my favorite seasoning, one of my favorite go-tos. Accent, garlic powder, and onion powder. And I'm going to use some apple cider vinegar. We keep this in the house. I make, drinks with this, but I actually use this to clean my chicken. I don't know anybody else does that. Let me know. And this is just to spray the pan. Here's my water for my chicken. Here's my measuring cup for the rice, and I clean my rice too. I rinse my rice before I put it in there because you're just going to put it in the pan dry, and that's my casserole dish there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I think that's pretty much it. So let me set this up and get it started. All right. I just washed my hands already before I started the video. So I'm just going to cut this open. I throw my chicken in there. Let me move this stuff because you don't want to cross-contaminate with chicken. So I'm just gonna, and I use a little salt as well in my water. So I'm just gonna put some salt in there and a little bit of vinegar. I'm gonna put that in there. Move this stuff back so you can see what I'm doing. I might as well just use the rest of this. I'm gonna buy some more. And just throw your chicken in there. And let it sit for about 10 minutes just to clean it. And it really does clean it well. You'll see all the stuff come off of it. And some of this is not all the way thawed out, and that's fine because you're putting it in the oven anyway, and then this water is going to help unthaw it. And I'm going to cut that fat off. I don't like that. That's why I use chicken breast normally. Throw that out. Wash my hands. So it's Wednesday today. I hope everybody had an okay week so far and looking forward to their weekend. I know I am. All right, you're not gonna put the broccoli in till last, but it's frozen, so I just wanted to thaw it out. Now for the rice, I am gonna do, I think I'm gonna do 1.5 cups. Because we're going to have rice on the side as well. I make fried rice on the side. But I like rice in my dish too. So I'm going to pour 1.5 cups of rice in this measuring cup. And then I'm going to rinse that and let it soak for a minute to get all that starch off of it. It just tastes better to me. I've done it with the starch on there because I didn't know at the time that it would taste better. So here's the rice, and you can see all the starch coming off of it. You could just use your hands to get that water off, to get the starch off, I mean. And I'm cleaning up as I go. My oven's already set to 350. And I'm going to stir this up as well, just to get that soaking in there. All right, after I rinse, clean the chicken off and rinse this off and get everything prepared to go in the casserole, I will come back. Okay. I am back. I just cleaned all the chicken and I took all the fat off. I left some on there because it's, you know, it'll taste good in there, just on the edges. But for the most part, I took it all off and I cleaned the rice. And I got a different casserole dish. I think the square one would be better because it will, if the cheese is, you know, overflow, it'll catch it. That other casserole dish, it might overflow in the oven. And I'm going to season my chicken now, and I'm just going to show you how you put it in the casserole dish. And you just cover it up and let it cook for like an hour, or until the top of your pan starts, the top of your cheeses start browning around the edges. It kind of looks like macaroni and cheese type casserole dish. You know when it's done. But this is the easiest dish done and prepared in like under 30 minutes. And it took me no time to clean this chicken and take the fat off, because on thighs, the fat is already hanging off. All you got to do is just snatch it off with your hand pretty much and cut off any excess that you want cut off. But I used to think when you cleaned your chicken with apple cider vinegar that your chicken would taste like that, but it really doesn't. It really cleans it good. When I started doing it, I noticed the difference in my chicken. Like, it tastes fresher to me. I don't know, maybe it's in my head, but I really like cleaning my chicken with apple cider vinegar, so I keep this in the house. Like, this is a staple in our house. I use it for, you know, other things, but I pretty much use it for cooking mainly. All right, so let's get this casserole in the oven. I'm getting it together, y'all. All right, so I think the first thing I normally do is I just butter my pan. Let's use the way this old pan looks. It's old. It was a hand-me-down. I just spray it real good, and I'm just using, you know, butter spray, and that's just to make sure nothing sticks to the pan. And then you just put your rice. I rinse this rice really good, like 8 or 9 times, and you just put your rice in there. And to make your dry rice get done, it's like my mom taught me this, every cup of rice you need 2 cups of water, but we're putting soup in there, so that's like going to take the place of your water. And I'm just going to get a spoon to spread this out. And I don't know if you can see that. Can you see it? Yep. Just spread it out. And I'm putting broccoli in this one this time. Sometimes I don't do that because sometimes the broccoli, I use frozen broccoli. You want to use frozen, not unfrozen, because then it'll be too mushy. So I'm gonna just go ahead, let me drain this a little more. I'm gonna go ahead and season this chicken, and that goes in next. You want to get all the water out of here. You can season it in the casserole dish, or you can season it in the bowl, whatever's easiest for you. So I'm using Lowry seasoning just a little bit. And I'll do it again over when I put it in the pan, just on the other side. A little bit of Slap Your Mama. A little bit of garlic powder. And a little bit of onion powder. Ooh, that was a lot. And then I put accent in there. It don't hurt to put a little bit more. I put a lot of onion powder. It just came out on me, but that's okay. At least it wasn't salt. It'll be all right. And I can get that off. I could just shake it off. And a little bit of parsley. I like parsley on my chicken. And you season your chicken the way you want. You don't have to, but this is how I do mine. All right, let me move this out the way. If you want to make sure all the seasoning is on there, you can do it with your hands, but I don't like to do that. I can't stand that filling on my hands. So I just take my chicken out, and I cleaned this really good, and I'm laying it in my pan like this. Actually, let me flip it over. Yeah, I'm gonna flip it over. And it doesn't matter what side it's on because it's gonna cook with the soup and all, and it's gonna fall off the bone. So whatever side is seasoned good, you wanna put down on it, face down. And then I'm just gonna season it one more time. Just lightly, just so you can see the seasoning. Because the rice isn't seasoned, so you want all this to be seasoned good so you can get all the flavor. I'm not putting no more onion salt because I put a lot by accident. And I like to put parsley for color too. It kind of makes it just looks pretty. I don't know, but it's good. I like parsley on everything. Actually, you need to get some more. And I get all this stuff from Aldi's, real inexpensive. And this time I'm actually going to put some Parmesan cheese in there just to give it a little bit more flavor. Okay, next thing you want to do is you want to put your frozen broccoli. You don't have to rinse it off. Some people rinse theirs, but you don't have to. Because this is the steamable bags. Get rid of that. And if you want to season your broccoli just a little bit, just to make sure it has a little bit of flavor, you can do that. And now I'm adding the soup, and you just pour it over it. And I got 2 cans, and the little bit that's left in the can, I will add water to this. I'm just gonna use my spoon to get out what I can. The soup is so good. Oop, I thought I opened this one. Hold on. Oh, let me open that. And here's the second can. You'll see the potatoes, how chunky and stuff it is. And there's some chicken in here too. And you just get the excess stuff out. And there's, just spread it out in your pan. Now what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add some water, about half a can for each to make 1 can. But the purpose of that is to get the juices out. They're at it again. Just can't be quiet. So I'm just adding some water. And that's just to get some of these juices out. Okay, that's good. You only need a little bit. Now you're going to add your cheeses. I'm going to use the rest of this Mexican cheese because I like all the stuff that's in it. Look like it got froze a little bit. I'm going to do the mozzarella first. They're just barking at neighbors. They bark at everything. And when my mom's dog's here, they bark even more just because he's here. I like lots of cheese, so you put how much cheese you want. This other cheese looked like it froze together, so I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use some of this mild cheddar. I can get it open. Makes it look pretty with the yellow cheeses. I know some people like pepper, but there's pepper in that Slap Your Mama. If you want to add pepper, and I might do that this time, just to give it a little kick. And after I do this, I try to stir it up. It's very hard to do that in this pan, but just take your time. And that's why I like to use the chicken breast. You just want to get that cheese down in there, that's all. And then you can add another top so you can see, you know, what's going on, how much more you might need. But it's going to be hard for me to do that because I use chicken thighs. So it's not, I have bigger pieces of meat in here, so it's hard. You just got to fill around and try to get that down in there. You kind of want your sauce, you know, to rise up. You just don't want cheese laying on top. You want it all through here, pretty much. And just stir it in there as much as you can. And then after this, I'm just going to add some Parmesan cheese. Sprinkle that on top and a little bit of pepper. And if you want to add more seasoning, you just got to eyeball it. It's all trial and error. And this is the easiest dish that I know. And I just thought I would share it because I'm a person who don't like to really cook. I never really had to cook that often, but these are things that I know I can make that are really good, and they don't take long and a lot of effort to make. You can just hurry up and make it. So you see the difference. Now it's all down in there. And if you want a little bit more cheese on top, you just add a little more cheese. And this chicken, as it cooks, it's just gonna come off the bone after a while. And if you want to add a little more water, whatever, you just gotta kind of eyeball it. So I'm gonna add some Parmesan cheese on top, just to give it a little more flavor. Since I didn't use the Mexican cheese, I like that cheese because it got everything in it. And a little bit of pepper just on top. Just to give it a little flavor. And just throw that down in there. And I'm making rice as, not white rice, but fried rice on the side to go with this as well. Just to stretch it out a little bit. Because the rice, there's not a whole lot of rice in this. It's just to make the dish. Hey, I don't care.
Jasmine, tell us again. I just stay so calm. I would have been terrified.
Fear's the only problem. You let it stop you, right?
It's not even his line. He said that.
I saw the brownies in the trees. It's like nothing I ever felt. A pure animal instinct took over and pulled the trigger. 2 grounders dead.
Pure animal instinct? I'm like pure pet's way, okay?
You don't really know what you're made of until a moment like that. You know, when it's killed or be killed, and there's just nothing between you and the tip of the spear.
This has to stop.
Come on. Let us have this.
Us?
Look at him. The boy's a folk hero. He gives a big attention. Somebody hit the tripwire!